Today, we are diving into a game-changing AI technique. It's a fix for one of the biggest, most frustrating problems with chatbots, and it's making them smarter, way more accurate, and a whole lot more trustworthy.
We've all been there, right? You ask a chatbot a totally reasonable question, and it comes back with an answer that sounds super confident, but is completely wrong. It's a really common experience, and it points to a major flaw in how these incredible AIs work. But what if we could finally fix that?
So before we get to the solution, we really have to understand the problem. What is going on inside the AI's brain that makes it so confidently incorrect sometimes?
Let's be honest. Large language models, or LLMs, often feel like pure magic. They're built to be these amazing assistants, tapping into what feels like the entire library of human knowledge.
But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. The promise is this incredible, all-knowing encyclopedia. The problem? Its knowledge is frozen in time. It can't see your private data, and worst of all, it can just make things up. And this isn't just some small theoretical issue. During a huge, very public demo, Google's own AI gave a wrong fact about the James Webb Space Telescope. This wasn't a tiny mistake. It was a major blunder on a massive stage.
And the impact of that single error? It helped trigger a $100 billion drop in the company's market value. If you ever needed a sign of just how high the stakes are, well, there it is. When AI messes up, the consequences can be enormous.
This phenomenon actually has a name, an AI hallucination. Now, the AI isn't trying to lie to you. It's just a prediction machine. It's generating what it thinks is the most likely string of words, even if that string has zero connection to reality. It sounds perfectly plausible, but it's factually hollow.
So, how do we stop these powerful models from just making stuff up? How do we connect them to the real world? Well, this is where our solution finally comes into play. Meet Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. It's a brilliant technique, first detailed in a research paper back in 2020, that basically gives an LLM the ability to go and look things up before it opens its mouth.
Honestly, this is the best way to think about it. Right now, most AIs are taking a closed-book test. They can only rely on what they memorized during training. RAG completely changes the game. It gives the AI a library card. It can go out, find the latest, most relevant info, and only then does it craft its answer based on those real facts.
Okay, giving an AI a library card sounds great, but how does it actually work? How does it know which book to pull from the shelf, so to speak? Let's pop the hood and see how it's done. The RAG system basically has two key players. First, you've got the retriever. Just think of it as a lightning-fast librarian. Its only job is to hear your question and immediately find the most relevant documents from a trusted knowledge source. Then you have the generator. That's the AI model we already know, the eloquent storyteller. Its job is to take the facts the librarian just handed it and weave them into a perfect, human-like answer. The whole process flows through a few key steps. First, you get all your data ready. Your company's internal documents, product manuals, whatever. Then comes a super important step called chunking, where you break that data into small, digestible pieces. After that, you index it all so it's searchable, and that's it. When a user asks a question, the librarian retrieves the right chunks, and the AI generates an answer based only on that trusted info. Let's just zoom in on chunking for a second because it's so important. You can't just throw a 500-page PDF at an AI. You gotta chop it up. A simple way is just to cut it every 200 words, but that can slice sentences in half. A better way is to split it by sentences or paragraphs. But the smartest way, the state-of-the-art, is semantic chunking, which actually uses AI to group text by meaning, making sure every chunk is a complete, context-rich idea. All right, enough theory. Where is this technology actually being used today? Where is it making a real impact? The number one place you'll find RAG right now is customer support. With RAG, a chatbot isn't just guessing. It's pulling answers directly from your company's official product manuals and FAQs. It can even look at old support tickets. The result? You get help that is way faster, more accurate, and actually specific to your problem. Now think about a field with much higher stakes, like healthcare. A doctor could use a RAG system to ask questions about the very latest medical studies or check for complex drug interactions. This ensures that the information they're getting is up to the minute and based on proven, authoritative sources, all while keeping patient data completely private. And it's the exact same story in the legal and financial worlds, where being close enough is not an option.
A law firm can find the perfect legal precedent in seconds. An investment firm can get a market analysis that instantly combines decades of historical data with this morning's breaking news. RAG provides that pinpoint accuracy you need.
When you look at all of these examples, you start to see that they're all working toward one single, incredibly important goal.
And that goal is trust. RAG is all about building trust in AI. It fights hallucinations by grounding every answer in real data. The info is always timely because you can update the source documents anytime. Companies get total control over what their AI is allowed to read. And get this, it's actually cheaper because you don't have to do these massive, expensive retraining projects all the time. And you should know, RAG isn't just some static idea. It is evolving incredibly fast. It started out with a pretty simple, naive setup. Then it got more advanced with extra steps to re-rank the search results for quality. Now we're seeing modular systems that can even correct themselves. The frontier today is all about enterprise RAG, making this work at a massive scale, securely for the biggest companies in the world.
When you step back, RAG is so much more than a technical patch. It represents a huge shift toward building AI that we can actually count on. AI that is reliable, transparent, and genuinely useful. This is just the beginning.
And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. For all of human history, we've been the ones building the libraries. Now, we've just handed the AI a library card to all of it. As it becomes the ultimate research assistant, what does that mean for us? What becomes our role as the thinkers, the question askers, and the researchers?